Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, you're so
Hi guys, me again. I got in a request. I'm not gonna say who the shout out is to, but you know who you are. I came up with this kind of, it says 3 steps for handling problems. A friend of mine had a family member be recently incarcerated, and it can be a really touchy subject. But also, being that it is such a touchy subject, people don't want to ask their friends how they should deal with this. They might be having an emotional time with it. You know, when someone's gone like that and their family needs them, there might be a financial strain. There might be the fact that you're just having anxiety over it. You're just stressing out about it too much. So I came up with these three steps. So the first one, and then I have some verses along with it. So in Romans 12:12, so if you're following along, in this chapter it's about living sacrifices, and this verse is kind of plucked out of a paragraph about love and how it must be sincere, etc., etc. But the part of it in verse 12 that I really like, it says, "Be joyful in hope, and patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer." So the first step is be patient in afflictions. That could be anything. So, any kind of problems that you're having would be an affliction. So just try and stay patient with the Lord. I know we might not want these things to happen and get caught up with, why is this happening to us? I have all these afflictions, all of these problems that the Lord's just piling on me. He also says that He will not give us more than we can handle. He won't test us beyond our means, beyond what we can take. So that's my first step. So it's kind of a two-parter. Be patient in afflictions, and then be faithful in prayer. Because if we are having a hard time with the first part, being patient, then being faithful in our prayer and coming to Him with the problems and bringing them to Him. Lord, what do I do? How do I deal with this problem? I'm having a very hard time. He will calm us down and help to kind of know He's living in us. So when we bring our problems to Him, this is how I feel, He just kind of smooths it out without us even knowing. You might feel like He's not answering our prayers, but He's always answering. It isn't either a yes or a no, but you don't know His plans. He is the only one who knows how He works. So the second step. This is dealing with the anxiety part of this hardship. One of my favorite verses for dealing with anxiety is 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. So I'm just going to flip to it now.
Yes, we trust everyone has their Bibles handy.
Shh. Okay, so what is it? 1 Peter 5 7. Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand. He may lift you up in due time. That's verse 6, and then verse 7 is the cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for us. So Some people always say, oh, well, you're having a hard time. Get in the Bible, read your word. He'll show stuff to you that you might not have read before or it might not have stand out to you before. But I just want to give you one of my favorite verses for dealing with anxiety. When I start worrying and stuff gets too overwhelming, I'm like, okay, where's that verse about anxiety again? Okay, yeah, it's 1 Peter 5, verse 7. So we have to cast all our anxieties on him. And then when we're dealing with hardships, the third step is always do not break faith. A good verse that I have for that is in Malachi 2, chapter 2, verse 16. Read that one too, just so it's word for word. If I can't find it, I should have marked it earlier. Should have just marked it, but anyways, basically it starts out at the beginning of the verse. It says guard yourselves, which means guard your heart and all of this affliction, this anxiety, this stress that might be coming from a problem like this with a family member being incarcerated, certain things happening, strains, stresses. All of this stuff can lead up to just your whole body feeling heavy and slow, and you just don't know how to work through these problems. We're not meant to work through these problems. We don't know what we need to make us feel whole. We need the Lord. So just the third step, do not break faith. We need him. Guard yourselves against all of this pain, this affliction, these stresses, and just put up a wall and say, all I need is the Lord. He'll guide me. Cast all my problems away because there's already enough to deal with for today. Don't worry about any of that, which just goes back to my last video, Matthew chapter 6. So these are my 3 steps for handling problems. First, be patient in afflictions. Second, read the word. Cast our anxieties on him. Third, do not break faith and guard ourselves. So, any comments, questions on this? I don't necessarily want to say it's a sermon, but this how-to. Just comment. Thanks.